try and speed run changing the thumbnail for this live stream real quick, and then we'll get going. I know it's been quite a bit since we've had a block open up. It's been a couple weeks, but regardless, I hope everyone's been doing well. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. If you do celebrate, hope you'll spend some time with your families and kind of enjoy some community. Appreciate the things that you're thankful for. I know, gotta say, pretty thankful to be in good health and be able to, just have be fortunate enough to take an hour out of a Friday to record and talk about a video game league like this. So super thankful for that. Super thankful for kind of my introduction as commissioner. I think it's been enjoyable. Or my first couple weeks hasn't been too bad. Let's see, Big Pod episode 3 live right now. Live right now. Hop in if you have any questions. To discuss. Okay. All right. That's all set up. Now we'll get going. Okay. So, like I said, same as last week. Gonna review the games that have happened. I've probably reviewed quite a few already, so try and just remind myself Block 2 is the one that was just open. Block 2. So Block 2 games need to be reviewed. We'll try and go quick. Don't take up too much of your guys' time, because I know maybe you want something to listen to, or maybe you're just itching at the bit to chomp at the bit to get some NDL games in, so you just want to kind of get to the game. So first, of course, alphabetical order every single time, just so the timestamps are easier, and so just so the timestamps are easier for me and there's not any bias, because I know if I did it based on standings, it would end up being someone's later every single time, and then it might not get as much viewership. So doing alphabetical, I think it's the most fair way to do it. So Block 2, Nadog, he did have his first loss. It was a very surprising loss. He lost at home against Arizona State and AU Chase. As per usual, AU Chase kind of undersells himself. I think he went 3-9 last year with Arizona State, though. He had a rough year, but he started the year 2-2. Losses to Iraka and Jumper, but was able to beat NTX and Nadog. He had a crazy one against NTX. It was like a Hail Mary, I think he had to get. So surprised Nadog lost this one, but it's an out-of-conference game. It hurts his playoff push, but, I mean, in the Big Ten, he's going to be able to make up for it. And he made up for it pretty quickly in his week 4 game when he hosted Big Mike. Was able to come away with a 3-point victory, which is, I'm not surprised it was close. I thought Big Mike would have won, so good on Nadog for winning this one. Not easy. And his schedule does not get any easier to start Block 3, as he's going to travel. So I'm going to flip this. He's going to travel to USC, not play the battle for the victory bell, but just travel to USC, play Cruising. Let me pull up his page. I can briefly touch on it. Cruising is 2-1. He did lose by 17 to Metro. Whoa, I missed that. Holy smokes. That's a little shocking that he lost that game by so much. But yeah, so he's 2-1. He did have a tough game against Nidler, man. He was just playing Nidler played really well. I think he's gonna shock some people, maybe get some nice little surprise upset victories with Purdue. But yeah, so USC 2-1, Illinois 2-1. So the battle of the 2-1s in the Big Ten. Cruising's 1-1 in the Big Ten. Nadog's 1-0. But I think, man, I'm kind of excited to see this one. This is a matchup we didn't get last year in the MAC. Eastern Michigan and Akron don't play this year, so we didn't get to see them kind of fight as two of the top dogs. So this will be fun to watch. I think I'm gonna take Cruising just because he's at home and his team's a little better. But I think Nadog's going to put up a really good fight. Real total coin flip. Excited to see the result. Best of luck to both coaches in this game. And then Nadog's other game in Block 1, he's going to take on the guy I was just talking about that. Oh, I didn't know this was a rivalry game, huh? So he's going to host Nidler and Purdue. Of course, Nidler started off the year. I don't think he has a win. Let me do it this way so I don't. No, he doesn't. He's 0-3. But he's played pretty close in almost every game. Rain kind of kicked his butt, but he played 6 really close. Only lost by 7. As I said before, played Cruising really close. Only lost by 6. Rain beat him by 28. This will probably be another game where he's going to struggle, especially being on the road. But best of luck to him. Hopefully, I don't know. He surprised me. He was up on Cruising early, so I think he'll make this one close. I don't see it as being like a blowout. I think he knows how to play. So I do think Nadog's going to win this one. I think Nadog's going to go 1-1 in this block. But I'm hoping Nidler and rooting for Nidler to make it this one a tight game because obviously tough 10 overall mismatch on the road in the Big Ten and a rivalry game, battle for the Purdue can. I don't know. Does this count as one of Nadog's rivalry games? It does. So this is a 10-point bonus game for Nadog. So he's going to got to come out hungry. So hopefully he can take away the victory. Now moving on to Indiana, Big Mike. Big Mike's 2-2. Last block he played this LSU game since I've last talked about him as well. So he played LSU at home, lost to Penguin by 7. Still played him really tight. And then he also played a great coach in Chase and VT Run and Gun. Was able to win this one. This is actually at Virginia Tech, but he was able to win it by 10. And then, as I said before, he played Nadog in a tight one at Illinois and unfortunately lost by 3. So Big Mike's 2-2 right now. Gonna kind of hurt his playoff push, which I was kind of predicting at the beginning of the year. Of course, lots of Big Ten work ahead of him. He's got a lot of games, but he does have to play Smitty and Shell and undefeated right now, looking pretty good Metro D. So this will be a tough kind of schedule ahead, but he gets, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but he gets a little bit of a break this week. He's going to play Iowa. And Mr. Jay Hubbard, I think he's 1-3. Yeah. He's 1-3, beat Army, lost to Iowa State, Arizona, and Rutgers. I think this is a pretty big talent mismatch here, but Jay Hubbard he has a running back that's really good. At least when I played him, he was able to break a lot of tackles. Mike's kind of complained about his defense quite a bit. So I could see maybe Jeremy makes this a little closer, but I'm going to take Mike in this one, probably by a couple scores. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't maintain that couple score advantage throughout the whole game. So I think he's going to go 1-0. He has a bye week in week 6, so he only has one game this block. Moving on to, the guy I'm already talking about. And he also only has one game. So I'll just keep this up. Moving on to Iowa, I'll kind of just flip this one around. Last block he played Arizona, so I got to go Big 12. He played Arizona and Muros, lost by 28. Unfortunately got doubled up there. Tough giving up 56 points. It's always going to be tough to win when you give up more than 40, I'd say. So he wasn't able to pull away that one. And then he played his first Big Ten game, which unfortunately was against a really good coach in MJ Kemp and Rutgers, who beat him 44-14. So best of luck to him in this, and we'll get back to the game that he's playing this week against Indiana. Best of luck to Jeremy against Indiana. I know he's a very fun guy to talk to on the mic. Hopefully everyone who listens to this has had a chance to do that. He's a very nice guy. He's a girls basketball coach at high school, in a high school that he coaches at. And then his son actually is a practice team player for the Oklahoma Sooners women's basketball team, which I think that's really cool. They're actually pretty good. I think they're top 5 right now. Maybe they're like top 10. He told me they had the number 1 recruiting class in the country. It's pretty cool too. But yeah, as far as this game goes, again, I think Mike's going to win it pretty easily. But hopefully Jeremy puts up a little bit of a fight. And then Jeremy also has a bye week 6, so he's only going to play this one game. So yeah, a bit of a rough start, but his schedule just does not get easier. It's tough. His only, yeah, tough because I mean next block he plays RB and Smitty. So best luck to him against Big Mike in this block. Moving on, we got Knowles. Oh my gosh, or sorry, we got Victim Maryland. Keep forgetting. Victim in Maryland. He played one of his games. Oh shoot, he's played one of his games so far. Hasn't gotten the Black Rain game in. Which at this point, hopefully they get it in tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be a sim. Which obviously no one wants a sim, but looks like they haven't been able to get that game in thus far. He did play his Big Ten game that he had this block, though. He was able to play RB. And he unfortunately lost by 10. How does Beefy Cup? Beefy Cup, he doesn't have any new games played there. So, yeah, he's only got one game in the regular season thus far. Lost to RB by 10. Kind of a nice little matchup of a couple of guys that have been in the NDL for quite a bit. 28-38, so decent score. I got the time. Let's look at the quarter by quarters. Let's see. It looked like RB was only up 17-14 at half, had a big third quarter, and then Victim made a little bit of a comeback in the fourth, scoring 14 points. So pretty even game overall. 4 total turnovers. Tough to win the game when you lose the turnover battle by 3. And he had 500 yards of total offense. Good for him. Yeah, so it seems like a pretty good introduction to the year. He does have he's actually an out-of-conference game. This block against Block. And see what he's able to do in this one. Having played both of these coaches, in NDL regular season games, I would say Block's a little bit better of a coach. I'm probably going to take Block to win this one, but I do expect Victim to make it close. I don't think Block will run away with a victory, so hoping for a close game, but I do think Block's going to win this one. And then his other game this week, he's going to go to Seattle and take on Washington. And he's Maryland. So he's going to take on Drewski, who Drewski I think is like 2-2 right now. Oh shoot, forgot I want to do this so I don't. He's 1-1. Oh, he didn't get his game against Tim in? Dang, that stinks. That's a big matchup. Oh man, that's brutal. I didn't realize that game didn't get in. Yeah, I was gonna check up and kind of review everything with guys. Dang, that stinks. Yeah, so he's 1-1. Hasn't played his game against Washington State and Licks. So it's kind of tough. That one goes to a sim. That would have been a fun game to watch. But so this game against Maryland, I think it's going to be a really close game. I think both coaches are pretty even. Drewski got a little bit surprised by Sarusi. Had a tough start, kind of put him in the back foot. And Victim's also kind of the same way. He kind of plays very sound. He can easily surprise you and put you on the back foot. So I think this will be a really tight game, but I do expect Drewski to win this one. So unfortunately, I am predicting Victim to lose both games this block. But his schedule does get a little easier as he kind of moves through the year. A little, geez, not much. So yeah, best of luck to Victim, but unfortunately I don't see a victory coming for Mr. Tim this block. Now moving along, we got Michigan. They've had a great start to the year, 4-0. The 2 games they played in block 2, one of which was against me. He played really well. His defense is really good. Let's see. I did score 3 touchdowns. One was a punt return. My 2 offensive touchdowns, I had like a long scoring drought. My third offensive touchdown was really late in the game, so he played really good defense. Scoreboard shows an 11-point difference. He easily could have won by like 17 or 20. Really has a really good defense. Hasn't let any opponent get above 20 points yet this season. So, it's going to be tough. The other game he played in the Big Ten was against another user that's been here. Well, MGR's been here a lot longer than Zoot, but played against MGR. Was at home, took care of business, won by 31. Let's just make sure it wasn't close at half and I missed it. I thought I checked in. It wasn't really. 24-10 at half, so it was relatively close at halftime, but then he shut him out in the second half. Came with that 31-point victory, so good for him. And then this week he is going to be on the road, and he's going to go to Wisconsin. and take on RB, who, like I said, RB is someone who plays everyone tight, so I expect him to play this game tight, but I do think with that 92 defense, man, it's just tough. It's tough to win an NDL game if you only score 20 points, and Zoot's he's got enough talent on offense. I think he'll be able to score above that 20 points and still hold his opponent down to a low-scoring battle. So I do expect Zoot to come away with the victory in this one. So I do think, and he has a bye week, week 5. So this is his only game this block. I do expect him to win this game this block, starting the season 5-0. Wow, a bit of a surprise with it. I mean, he's good. He's made the playoff like twice. I think he's made it twice. So shouldn't be a surprise, but I wasn't expecting him to come out so strong. So good for him. And best of luck to him the rest of the year. Wow, he's definitely putting the Big Ten on notice. Yeah, and I think it's Wisconsin. No, it's not one of his rivalry games. So yeah, best of luck to him. Hopefully he can start the year 5-0. Moving on to the other team in the mitten, we have Metro D and Michigan State, who played two very tough opponents in block 2. How have I talked about this game? I haven't talked about this game. Well, I touched on it because I touched on Metro, or I touched on cruising. Sorry. Oh, jeez. I touched on cruising, but this game, Metro won by 17. Great victory for him against, I mean, you look at the ratings difference, huge mismatch, but he was able to win by 17. It was actually at home, which helps because Sparty's field is like the 23 best home field advantage, I think. So they do get a little bit of the question mark and stuff. So good for him winning this game. The other game he played was against one of Smitty's buddies. I can go this way since I started the B. And BYU and Ryan Collins. I did catch the end of this game. Metro scored late to go up by 3, and Ryan missed a 35-yard hash field goal, I think, to send it into overtime. So he missed that field goal, so Metro ended up winning by 3 at home. So he was able to come out with a victory against what I think will be a pretty good BYU team, although I think he struggled to start the year. He went, I want to say 11-1. Yeah, he went 11-1. I think he went 11-1 with Tulsa last year, and he's 0-3 right now. He had 3 tough out-of-conference games. D. Kane lost by 7, Steam lost by 3, and then Metro lost by 3. So I think this is a coach that could definitely win the Big 12. So this could be a really good win for Metro and the whole Big Ten. So, but right now it doesn't look like the best one because the guy's 0-3. But we'll see how the season progresses for that. In terms of games Metro has this week, is on the road for his first one, and it's against another one of Smitty's buddies in Devin Higgins, who was Northern Illinois in season 32, was Pittsburgh last year in season 33, and is now at Arkansas in season 34. He's been a really good coach. He had a great game against MJ Kemp and Rutgers. I expect this one to be a really good game. Both these guys are really good at football video games. Devin is 2-1. He won against Appalachian State, lost to Rutgers, as I said before, and then beat South Georgia Cracker and Ole Miss by 10. So played some pretty tough opponents. Played them very close. I expect this game to be very close too. Neither of these guys are guys that I think of as guys that really blow people out or get blown out. So I think they'll keep this one really tight. Interested to see how that really fast wide receiver at Arkansas, I think his name's Anthony. His last name's Anthony, is going to perform in this one because I think Metro knows how to take care of that speed. He knows the game pretty well. And then the other game Metro has this week, so I do think Metro will win, though. I think Michigan State will pull out the victory in that one. And the other game he has this week, he has against Nebraska at home. Classic Big Ten game. It's funny, this seems like a bit of a classic Big Ten game, but Nebraska, of course, is the 12th? I think they're the 12th. I think they joined the same time as Maryland. So 12, 13, or Maryland and Rutgers. Or did they join before? I can't remember. I think they're the 12th Big Ten team, though. So kind of quote-unquote classic Big Ten game isn't really a classic Big Ten game, but should be a good one. These two As I said before, MGR's kind of had a rough start to the year. I think he's 1-3 though. I do think he won a game. Yeah, he beat Freak. So he's 1-3 to start the year, but has played everyone relatively close. Zoot's kind of got the best of him. I think he's going to benefit from having a little bit better team this time, but I still think Metro's going to take care of business in this one. So I'm predicting Metro to go 2-0 in this block and start the year 5-0, just like his counterpart in Ann Arbor. So expecting a 10-0 season from both, or I guess a combined 10-0 start to the year from the Michigan Big Ten schools. So, hey, good for that. I'm a Michigan guy. Okay. Now on to the next team. Oh, we have, I think this is one of my favorite. I know I shouldn't have favorites, but this is one of the guys like I would say borderline favorite. Team in the Big Ten right now is Minnesota and Knowles. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I mean, his team's not 78 overall. Like that's what I think Toledo and Buffalo are right in the back, so it's not really that good of a team. But he's had a really good start to the year. Last block, he had a huge upset. I don't think a whole lot of people saw it coming against Auburn and Weasel. He was able to come away with a 1-point victory. I do think, yeah, I think he got a 2-point conversion to win it. Yeah, 15. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he went for 2 late in the game to win it, which is awesome for him. He was up 28-21 at half, was down 28-35 going into the fourth, and then of course was able to come away with a 43-42 victory. Huge win for the Big Ten, huge win for Knowles. And I think just like that, I gotta say Knowles. I think people gotta watch out for Knowles. He played Texas and Knowles really close, only lost by 3, and was able to beat Toledo by 25. So he's 2-1 to start the year. He's finished his non-con. Very respectable job, I would say. He should be, and hopefully he is happy going 1-1 between his games against Duke and Auburn. So he's able to move into this block where he has, oh my goodness, does he have 2 tough games. His first of which is on the road against a really good coach in MJ Kemp. This one's going to be tough. I think he's going to put up a lot more of a fight than I would have guessed before the season started, but I do think MJ Kemp's going to come away with the victory just because he's one of those guys. He's one of those coaches that are just really good. I think he's kind of adapted to Rutgers. We'll see if maybe both these guys in the Thanksgiving break, I'm not sure how much they've been playing, kind of bumps them down a little bit, but I do think MJ Kemp's going to win this one, but I think Knowles is going to keep it a lot closer than you would think looking at the overall differences. The other game he has this week is somehow harder. But it will be at home. He's going to host the number 1 team in the land, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and D. Kennedy, who of course is undefeated. I mean, you shouldn't expect anything less from a guy who's the reigning defending national champion. He did win his game last block, won 62-34 against Ole Miss. Hasn't scored. Well, he's scored 30. He's his lowest he scored this year. It's given up a lot of points. I assume a lot of it's because he's been up a lot. I do think D. Candy's going to take care of this one. It's just so near impossible to win by 12 with this overall difference. Although, I got to remember, Knowles played Jose, a former NDL member, really tight as Minnesota against Georgia. So this one could be a lot closer than people, including myself, expect. But I think D. Candy's going to take care of business in this one, picking Ohio State. So I am picking Knowles, unfortunately, to start his Big Ten season 0-2 in conference. Next team we got is MGR in Nebraska. Hasn't had the start he's probably wanted to the year, but it's been... I think he's just like a coin flip away. He was driving late against Notre Dame, was unable to... Notre Dame was his block, so I can talk about that. So he lost to... Oh my gosh, Notre Dame's not in here. That's why I can't find him. Played against Notre Dame and rained. It was at home, down 4 late in the game. He probably got inside the red zone, at least on the borderline of the red zone. And unfortunately threw a pick in the end zone with time left on the clock and just wasn't unable to come away with the victory. So lost 31-35 against Rain. And then, as I said before, he played Zoot in Michigan. Let me flip over to it so it's on the screen. I played Zute in Michigan as well, and unfortunately that game wasn't quite as close. It was close at halftime, one-score game at halftime, but Zute pulled away in the second half, which I think he's going to do a lot. He did it against, especially in the big house. It just seems like your guys just get tired or something. I don't know. In those high wear and tear games, or those high home field advantage games. So, lost this game by 31, but like I said, a one-score game at halftime, that's one where you're like, oh, it could go either way, and just unfortunately didn't go his way. He only has one game this block. Tough game this block. Another road game this block. He's going to go to East Lansing. I touched on this game before. I do think Metro is one of the better coaches in the Big Ten, even though he doesn't have one of the better teams. But I would assume as a alumnus, he probably watches the Spartans a little bit, so he knows the roster a little bit. So I think he'll be able to perform pretty well. I mean, he has thus far this season. He's 3-0 to start the year, and I expect Metro to win this one again, as I said before. So I unfortunately am picking a loss for MGR. So he'll go. Unfortunately, I think he's going to fall to 1-4, but he'll have a good chance to turn around. His next 3 games are against Maryland, Minnesota, and Northwestern, all of which he does have a pretty good overall advantage in. So hopefully he can turn it around starting in block 4. Now, speaking of Northwestern, we're going to check out Coach Outlaw and his Northwestern Wildcats. He played 2 just disgustingly difficult games in block 2 for some. This one he didn't have a choice. He had to play Shells, part of his conference schedule, and he kept it pretty close. 19-point game. How did he score 12 points? He kicked 4 field goals. Let's see. It looks like it. I mean, six in the first quarter, six points in the third quarter. No, it says he has 2 red zone touchdowns. Did he just go for 2 and miss it? He went for 1 2-point and missed it. He must have missed an extra point or something. But yeah, so lost that game 12-31. Yeah, it's kind of what we expected. Shell's pretty good. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with Oregon. And then his other game was against tough. I guess they're an SEC opponent now. It's just that one will always be weird. That one will always be weird to think about. And CG, he unfortunately lost to CG 33-0. So not a whole lot you can do. That's a 9 overall team advantage. CG's definitely trying to make a playoff push this year. Is he undefeated? He's got to be undefeated. Yeah, he's undefeated to start the year. Yeah, kind of hasn't played the craziest out of conference schedule, but he is undefeated to start the year. It's tough to schedule as Texas when you have those high overall teams, though. Outlaw does have 1 Big Ten game this block. It's one I think we all should watch because I think it'll be one of a nice little battle between a couple of guys. He's gonna travel to UCLA and take on T-Fan, UCLA team with T-Fan, who had a bit of a surprising bloodbath on Bear-Ass in Cincinnati. Fought Doc really tight, lost by 5 there, and then Mort just had a huge scoring outburst. They combined for 105 points. Unfortunately, T-Fan lost 35-70 to Mort Lahoma. Man, how do I pick this game? I just think, having seen how much he beat Bear-Ass by, I'm going to take T-Fan. I think it'll be similar to Outlaw's game against NTX, where it's going to be really close. There'll be a couple plays late in the game where if you want to make winning plays, you'll make the plays, you'll win. If you don't make the winning plays, you'll lose. So I am going to pick UCLA in this one, but could easily see Northwestern winning this one. And again, as I said it once, I keep saying it, looking forward to his game next block against Nidler. That'll be a fun one to see between a couple of long-term coaches in the NDL with a couple of teams in the P5 that aren't really P5 caliber, with 80s, and I think Purdue's like a 74 or something. Terrible. What are they? 74. Yeah, crazy. So yeah, looking forward to that one. But and looking forward to this one too. Definitely a coin flip. But do think UCLA is going to take it. Okay, now we got our little stretch alphabetically of the 3 just crazy good teams that exist in the Big Ten. The first one's the Ohio State Buckeyes. And D. Kennedy, he played 1 game last block. It was against Ole Miss, and South Georgia Cracker won this game by 28, 62-34, scored a bunch of points. What a surprise. 96 offense, that is insane. But so he's 3-0 to start the year. He has decent Big Ten matchup to kind of kick things off. It's the other way, so I'll flip it. Washington, Ohio State. He's going to host Drewski and Washington. Drewski, as I mentioned before, is 1-1, and then we'll see how his, unfortunately, would probably be a sim against Tim comes out to be in his Apple Cup game. Yeah, I think, the overall is only 6, but given how bad the game went for him when he played Jose, I think the game's going to go hopefully not equally as bad, but it's not going to be good against D. Kennedy. I expect D. Kennedy to win this one by quite a bit, but he's a good player. I do think he'll put up a really good fight, but I think score-wise, it's probably not going to be too close. And then his other game is against his other game I talked about before is against Minnesota, and this one, again, I think D. Kennedy's probably going to win this one relatively easily, but like I said, Knowles had that scrimmage against Jose. Got to keep that in the back of my mind. Everyone should be keeping it in the back of their mind. He's had a really good start to the year, so I could see this one being closer, but this being similar to his game against Chase and VT, run and gun, where it's closer than you think it would be, but he still ends up winning by 17. So like if you didn't watch the game, you're like, it wasn't that close. So I do think Knowles is going to be able to keep this one tight, especially being at home. You won't have to deal with crazy home field advantage. But yep, expecting Ohio State to start the year 5-0. Moving on to Oregon and Shell. Of course, he's started the year 4-0. He's taken advantage of, or he's done what he can do with the schedule put in front of him. Had this forced. They have to have it named. Yeah, Platypus Trophy game. Come on, EA. He has played this Platypus Trophy game in week 4. Was able to win it 48-20, which, I mean, Doc only lost by like 7 last season in that game. So interesting that he was able to win by 28 on the road. So good for Shell to take care of business in such a way. And then he also he played Northwestern. Outlaw took care of business in that one as well. So he has, oh my goodness, he has a game of the week. I don't mean to spoil it for the game day crew, but this is a game of the week. If it's not, I don't know what to say. Against, oh my gosh. Okay, they still have it at 94. I think that overall's gone down. Oh. Yeah, they used to be an 86 overall, now they're an 85. Well, they always had 82 off. Okay, jeez. I didn't realize this offense is that low rated. But he's got Smitty and Penn State. It's actually at home. So he's got Smitty and Penn State at home. This is going to be a great battle between 2 great users. I don't think they have any head-to-head history, though, which is kind of crazy. Man, is there a way for me to... I think if I click on Shell's profile, I can see that. Shell's coach 8. That's funny. Yeah, head-to-head. There you go. I don't think he's played Smitty. When would he have played him? Maybe in a playoff game? Smitty. He has played him. Huh. How is he? He played him once, he beat him. When did he play him? 38-20? 31-28? When did he play him and beat him 31-28? Oh, back when Smitty was Ole Miss. Oh, was that a playoff game? Oh, it must have been. Oh, I didn't even remember that. In season 32. Oh, so good for Shell. So they actually have played each other before. I mean, that was Shell's big national championship game run. So, yeah. So, wow, nice. Man, Smitty's got to, Smitty takes, writes down the guys he loses to. You can just tell. He's that kind of guy. Just wants to win. Just wants to win. So definitely, wow. That puts even more on this game. Man, well, rare guy that Smitty's lost to. Dang. So that's an exciting game. Wow. I mean, man, I'm really talking myself into this game. I mean, as if I needed to. It's already a 6-4 based on the last poll. I'm sure even how this poll goes, it might even be higher. So potentially top 5 NDL matchup. Man, wow, this is gonna be a great game. So hopefully, man, jeez, I don't even know how to pick this one. I'm gonna go. I'll go Shell just because. Man, he's kind of had. I don't know. Who knows? I'll just go Shell because why not? Because I'm on Shell's team right now. But I have no idea. Absolute toss-up. Must-watch Big Ten game. This is what made people excited about the Big Ten, seeing users like this at teams like this. So totally super excited for this game. I do think I'll pick Shell to win this one. Say the Oregon Ducks are going to go 5-0 to start the year. But that does mean I have to move on to Shell's opponent, Smitty, who played one game in Block 2 against, this is kind of a fun game. I'm glad Brady scheduled this, against Brady Sr. in App State. He was able to win by 17. I mean, he has a nice little overall advantage, so not surprising he was able to win, but the 17, I mean, these are two really good users, so definitely tough game. Two guys that love to run the ball. I'm sure the rushing total was over 400, if not more. It did not exceed 400. It was 360. Sad, but I'm sure a lot of that's that 94 defense just shutting down a 73 offense. But yeah, so Smitty won that one. He's 3-0 to start the year. Of course, he had that huge win against. Oh my gosh, we gave Georgia to Ank. What? Ank's back and he's Georgia? This is the first I'm hearing of this. I mean, wow. I like it. Wow. Ank's back and he's Georgia. I mean, I know it's a Big Ten pod, but wow. Wow. Well, that'll be fun. Well, good luck to him with that schedule. Oh my gosh. It's okay. I digress. So, Smitty, as I said before, happened yesterday. Well, thank you. Thank you for the update. Shows how. Look at me, falling asleep at the wheel. Wow, that's huge. Geez, okay. So man, I gotta clear my head. Just bombshell just dropped on me. Had no idea. What's the Trump quote? Yeah, it's the first I'm hearing of this. Wow. Total shock. Okay, so this game, I just talked about it. I think Oregon's going to win. Absolute toss-up. Game of the week. Got to watch. His other game, probably not a game of the week. He's going to play UCLA and T-Fan. He's going to play him at home, though, so I got to flip it. He's going to play UCLA and T-Fan, so Smitty's going to host this one. Do you think Smitty's going to take care of business pretty easily in this one? He's just really good. Like, he has to play a user where you're like, dang, this is like a legit scare user. You're nervous every time you come in to play him if he's going to scare him. And T-Fan's good, but he's not at that level. So I do think Smitty's going to take care of business in this one. And man, Smitty has a pretty easy next block too. He's going to play Northwestern and Outlaw in Iowa. And then the block after those one, 2 blocks, he starts his just gauntlet. He's going to play Ohio State, Indiana, MSU, Nebraska, and then Rutgers end the year. So best of luck to Smitty the rest of the year because, man, that's tough. But this one I do think Smitty's going to take care of business. So thinking Penn State's going to be 4-1 because I did pick Shell in the other game. So now we have Mr. Commissioner, or not Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Admin, Nidler. Of course, if anyone's in the live chat, they saw Nidler did break the throw outside of the numbers rule during this game. He's going to have a couple guys suspended. I do want to say, as Nidler said, he went about it exactly how anyone should be going about a rule break. He's like, yeah, I broke the rule. Won't happen. Try not to let it happen again. Accept the punishment is what it is. Of course, if he recognized during the game, has this rule break, go and take like a sack, go and make it equal, talk with your opponent. You can potentially avoid the suspension. So if you do break a rule and you recognize it during the game, go back and remedy it. That's the best way to. That's the best course of action. If you guys ever watch like Formula One, I like watching that. You should definitely be watching on Sunday, even if you don't watch Formula One. Three-way title battle in the last race of the year, Abu Dhabi, 8 a.m. Eastern. Be there. But like Formula One is like if they illegally pass someone, they like let the guy that they illegally passed repass them, so then they don't get a penalty, and it like works out. So same kind of thing as Nidler did the. That would have been the ideal thing when Nidler broke that rule, is to like go take a sack to reset it and kind of make it fair with cruising. But of course, the second best thing is when you do get the punishment, accept it, be like, all right, my bad, I'll do better next time. So yeah, unfortunately, he lost that game though. And then his other game he played was against Rain, Notre Dame. Wasn't able to keep that one as close as I thought he would have. It must have been close to half. There's no way. He lost by 20. He lost 42-21. Yeah, it was 21-14 at half. So he just unfortunately lost the second half by 21 points. And then this block, he has a couple games. He does have an out-of-conference game. One of the rare Big Ten out-of-conference games left. He's going to play UNLV, which is here. Yeah, it's at home. So he's going to play Black Rain. Does Black Rain have... I think he has one game in, right? No, he doesn't have any of his games in. He's one Beefy Cup game in against Vic. So he's probably busy with something. I know he's been in the league for a little bit. So yeah, hopefully he gets around, he comes back, is able to play this game. I do think Didler will be able to beat UNLV in Black Rain. I think Didler's a lot better than he gives himself credit for. His other game's kind of tough though. It's at home though, or it's on the road. So we gotta put him here. And then Illinois. Okay. So he's at. Oh yeah, the battle for Purdue cannon. Why is it the battle for the Purdue cannon? Why? Alright, well now we gotta do our during the game research. Battle for the Purdue cannon. Okay. Why is it called the Purdue cannon? Does Wikipedia tell me why? It all started when a group of Purdue students took the cannon to Champaign in anticipation of firing it. But Illinois supporters discovered it and took it. Whoa, that's kind of cool. Huh. Like in 1905. Isn't that crazy that in 1905, 120 years ago, they were playing college football? This is wild. That's just wild to me. I can't even fathom what, like, it's hard for me to fathom what life was like in, like, 1968 when my dad was born. Like, but 1905, like, what the heck? What the heck? That's just crazy. But regardless, it's going to be a tough game for Nidler. I think Nadok's going to win it pretty easily. But I don't know, dude. He hasn't been as impressive as I thought he would be at Illinois, which is kind of like supports the RB theory of the G5 darling that moves to the P4 isn't as good as you'd expect. So we'll see. I think just like his game against cruising, Nidler is going to keep this one close, but I do think Nadog's going to end up winning. So I think Nidler's going to go 1-1 this block, but hopefully he gets his first one against UNLV in Black Rain. Now moving on to Rutgers. MJ Kemp, he started year 3-0. Man, it's kind of feels like a quiet 3-0, but how's it a quiet 3-0? He's beat 2 top 25 teams. 2 should be top 25 teams. Last block he played Kansas State and Jaguars, who's been pretty good at Jaguars. He beat what's his name? Vegas. He beat Vegas at Tennessee in block 1. MJ Kemp took care of him in block 2 though, beat him by 17. And then MJ also played his first Big Ten game against Iowa. Took care of that one pretty easily, won by 30. This block, he has a game against Knowles. It's actually it's the other way, though. He has a game against Knowles. I gotta go this way, I saw red. He has a game against Knowles. I do think that he's going to win this one pretty easily, as I said. But, oh, man, and then I got to touch on it again. I'm sure I said it before, but, man, Knowles might play him close. You never know. He played Jose close at Georgia. You never know. So, closer than I think MJ Kemp still wins. MJ's other game is against an SEC opponent. There's a lot of Big Ten SEC games scheduled, even though the challenge, I think, there's still a couple of games outstanding, but the SEC's up by one game right now. Those games probably won't get played. But yeah, South Georgia Cracker. What is he to start the year? I mean, I haven't seen him get any win. He might not have a win yet. Oh, he beat Neal. Okay, so he's 1-2. Lost to Devin, lost to D. Kennedy. So I think MJ Kemp's going to give him his third loss. Do expect Rutgers to take care of business. So I'm expecting Rutgers to also be 5-0. Man, do we have like 4 5-0 teams with these predictions? If my predictions are right, which they probably won't be, but so yeah, I expect MJ Kemp to stay undefeated and move on to tough block 4 against Washington, Oregon, but 5-0. Okay, now we're on to T-Fan. He played one game against. They're in the SEC, isn't it? So crazy. But he played one game against Oklahoma. Lost 35-70 to Moore at home. Last block, he's 1-2 right now, and he has a fun game this block. Like I said before, this is one like when it pops up when I get the notification that it goes live in the live stream tab on the live stream channel. I'm definitely gonna click on it and try and watch it. Hoping for an exciting one because very evenly matched. Probably evenly matched coach and team-wise. I do think T-Fan's going to come away with the victory, just given, like I said, his win against Bearats, I think, and playing Doc tight, I think he's just a little bit better, but expecting a really tight one. Looking forward to it. And then his other one, unfortunately, he's at a lot more of a disadvantage. He's going to go to University Park and play Penn State and Smitty. I think Smitty's going to win this one pretty easily, just like Moore did. I think Smitty and Moore kind of same level, so not expecting this one to be particularly close. But hopefully T-Fan can put up a good fight. So I think he's going to go 1-1 this block and make himself 2-3 on the season. Now we got USC and cruising. I've already touched on both of his games last block, but first one against Nidler was down early, had to make a bit of a comeback, ended up giving up 38 points to Nidler, but was able to score 44 himself, did have the 6-point victory. And then his other game, just not performing the way you would think his team would. He lost 28-45, so if you're keeping track at home, including his California game, which are his 3 games this year, he hasn't given up less than 31 points in a single game yet this season. Going to be tough for him to have sustained success with defense with that many holes in it. So he has a tough one for a defense that's been struggling. He's going to host Illinois, NADOG. Illinois has been scoring a lot. Like I said, super looking forward to this one. This is the game that is what's cool about the NDL is these two guys were in a group of 5 conference together because of the mega conferences. They didn't play each other. Now they're in a P4 conference and they're at a little bit better schools. Now they get to play each other. You get to kind of see this. How does it play out? I wasn't sure how it would play out when they're in the MAC. We're going to find out how it plays out when they're in the Big Ten. Again, I do think I don't even remember who I picked. I'm probably going to pick both teams because I don't remember who I picked the first time. I think I gave Cruising the advantage. I have no idea. But I'll take Cruising this time. If I pick the other way, I apologize for my lack of consistency. But I think Cruising's going to win this one. And then he has another game at home against an SEC opponent. And Big Brian, I think, if I had to guess, Big Brian's probably like 500, maybe like 1-3. He's 3-1. Whoa! Shout out to Big Brian playing Pat close. Dang, yeah, he played Pat close. Lost by 3 at Utah, and then took care of business against Kansas. And Narcan Man took Virginia and NTX and Real Dre in South Carolina. So okay, Big Brian showing me up. So Big Brian 3-1 against 3-1 cruise or 2-1 cruising. So man, this should be a good one. I do think cruising's a little bit better, and he's the home field advantage. But man, if his defense isn't figured out, ooh, we could be in for a shootout because I don't think Big Brian's defense is a little bit better. So we'll see. But taking cruising, going to take my Big Ten guy in this one. So expecting him to go 2-0 to kind of put his season back on track after a pretty big loss to Michigan State last block. Okay. Now we got Washington. As I said, man, I'll have to check the scheduling thread. It's disappointing. His game against Tim hasn't been played yet. So that one will probably get simmed unless they play tonight, because block 1 and 2 are closing tomorrow. Regardless, so I have no games to talk about because he hasn't played, and he didn't play his block 2 game. But he does have some pretty big block 3 games. I'll talk about Maryland first, just so I don't have to flip him. I touched on it before. Victim, good guy. I had a fun time talking with him when I played him. Jeez, it's like almost been a year and a half ago now in season 29. But he's a good dude. Jersey's also been fun. I've chatted with him. He was pretty good at Kent State last year. I do think he's a little bit better than Victim, so I expect him to win this one. But he's kind of struggled to start the year a little bit. He's dominant against Doug, but he really struggled against TCU, so I could easily see some struggle bus making its way to this game as well. So I think it'll be maybe a little closer than I'd expect, but I do think Drewski's going to win this one. And then his other game is one that is going to be tough. He's got to travel to Columbus. As I said before, I just think DeCandy's going to roll him in this one, but hopefully he can put up a fight. Just the way he got smoked by Jose in Georgia and the Big Ten SEC Challenge didn't give me a whole lot of confidence. But hey, if this is the fuel that these Huskies need on the fire that lights them up to fighting and biting those buck nuts, that's what it is. So hopefully he can take care of business and get the victory in this one. But I do think Ohio State's going to win this one. So I think Drewski's going to go 1-1 this block. Going to be Victim, but going to lose to Ohio State. All right. Last but not least, we have a guy who has one game this block. It's a game I've already talked about because it is a Big Ten game. But it's at home, so I got to flip this. Oh, but of course I got to talk about his block 2 games. Let me flip this and then I'll do it. Oh no, just do this. Come on. Okay. So RB, he's 2-1 to start the year. He won his first game, and then he went and played block, and like I said, battle of 2 guys who kind of really great rule followers, play the game the NDL way, lost by 5, was 14-10 at half in favor of block M, and then game did end up 35-30 in favor of block M. No turnovers the whole game. Wow, that's cool. Yeah. And then the other game he played against Victim, Maryland. And he won this game by 10, 38-28. So like I said, RB kind of plays everyone close. So he's gonna be able to see if he really does play everyone close, because he's gonna play a Michigan team that's kind of been on fire. And Zoot, who's 3-0. I think 3-0 to start the year. Let me check just to make. Oh, I think he's 3-0. 4-0. 4-0 to start the year. So this is his only game this block, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, gonna be a tough one. I think RB's gonna put up a great fight. It's at home, so he doesn't have to deal with that annoying. He doesn't have to listen to Mr. Brightside in the fourth quarter, which, I mean, he should be thankful for that. We're talking about Thanksgiving. But so he kind of gets to avoid that. We'll see how these Michigan Wolverines do on the road, because we've seen them at home. They've been pretty dominant. We'll see how they can do on the road. But do think Zoot's going to come away with the victory in this one. So think RB's going to go 0-1 as one game this block. So, like I did last week, going to pick who I think's going to be in the Big Ten championship game. Oh, Man, am I really going to switch up my pick after block 2? I think I am. I think that I'm going to go reigning defending for the home team. I still think he's the best team in the conference, but I think this Ohio State-Oregon game is going to, because they don't play each other, right? I'm pretty sure they don't. No, they don't, because I would have known. I would have heard about that. Yeah, they don't play each other in the regular season. So Shell can take care of business against Mike. He's got that big game against Smitty. That'll be the teller. Whoever wins that one, I would say, is my pick to play against Ohio State between Shell and Smitty. But I think Shell's kind of been a little bit more impressive. I mean, he hasn't really played these games too close, and he's just a guy who just wins. Like, you try and pick against him, but then he says, "Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna win," and that's tough. And Smitty's similar. Smitty's a guy who just wins, but I feel like he has all this support for him. And then sometimes, like, when you get all that support, you rest on your laurels a little bit. Shell has no laurels. He just gets dubs. He says, "Hey, you know what, haters? Hate on this." And then he wins these games. You just expect him not to. So, this is my championship game pick. That's all I got for the pod this week. Hey, you guys did a great job playing your games. I think I talked about 2 games. Right? I think I only mentioned 2 games that hadn't been played. So you guys have done a great job playing your games. You guys have done a great job with your polls. Your coach reports have been absolutely amazing. You guys make this roll pretty easy. I apologize I haven't been talking a whole lot, but I mean, there's not a whole lot to say because we haven't played any games in a while. So excited to get everything revved back up. Excited to get really into the heat of conference season. Looking forward to it. If you guys ever need anything, always feel free to reach out to me, ask any questions you got. And as always, fire up, long live the NDL, but more importantly, fire up chips. Thanks for listening to anyone who listens, and